Good afternoon. In today's lecture, we will discuss the impact of implementing ERP systems on business performance. Over the past few years, businesses around the world have implemented ERP systems to have a consistent information system in their organizations. However, despite the benefit demand of implementing ERP technologies, managers need to understand the primary drivers of technology benefits realization and avoid the drawbacks for full benefit achievement. Many of the drivers are related to staff and technology alignment with overall organization's strategy, where staff are the ones who will define the benefits and the overall success of an ERP system implementation. By using ERP as a tool to achieve overall business objectives, IT and corporate managers will be able to better maximize the potential benefits of any system. A comprehensive benefit realization program is needed as a part of any IT implementation to ensure the occur of the maximized benefits. Yet, even with the spread adoption of ERP systems, many companies struggle to achieve the expected benefits from ERP. It has been observed that many companies fail to gain major benefits from ERP in the post-implementation stage, regardless of their initial implementation success. So in today's lecture, we will focus on this post-implementation stage and study the factors that influence the performance of an ERP on the business performance. Arb Solutions are customizable standard application software that includes integrated business solutions for the core process and the main administrative functions. With their IT investments, most organizations focus on the implementation of technology, not on the realization of expected business benefits. As a result, benefits are not forthcoming despite projects being considered a technical success. This failure to realize the benefits is primarily due to methods and tools that emphasize improving the supply side of IT delivery, including the use of outsourcing, as no IT investment is ever just about technology. In this lecture, we will provide an overview on what is meant by ERP system implementation, the life cycle of ERP system implementation. We will also study the relation between information technology, especially ERP systems, and the business performance considering the benefits realization. We will present the approaches that enable managers to identify, plan, and manage the delivery of benefits, where these approaches imply ways of working between IT professionals and business managers that complement the best practices in delivering ERP solutions, but that engage business managers in a way that enables them to apply their collective knowledge for creating business value from IT-enabled changes. Erb System Packages integrate information and information-based processes within and cross-functional areas in an organization. It integrates all aspects of a business promising one database, one application, and a unified interface across the entire enterprise. ERP implementations are very complex and expensive, but once they are implemented successfully, major improvements in business process, communications, and interactions between users and customers will occur. Even with the benefits appeal from implementing ERP systems, managers need to understand the drivers of benefit realization and try to avoid the drawbacks to achieve benefits from that investment. Also, to better production scheduling and reduction in manufacturing costs, management can observe the reduction of cycle times of documents and the elimination of redundant data and operations. It requires changes not only in systems, but also in process and other social dimensions, besides the coordination and cooperation among the members of the firm to make this work. Where ERP implementation is a socio-technical challenge that requires a fundamentally different outlook from a technologically driven invention, On the other hand, the causes for failure arise from interactions among people, tasks, environment, and technology. Unlike traditional software packages, whose emphasis was on technical aspects, an ERP system development process shifts from writing software to understanding business processes. From another perspective, having extensively examined business practices in different industries, vendors of ERP packages write their own versions of best practices for business rules, norms, and values into the software. In other words, these software packages have their own inherent business strategy and structures. Moreover, since these systems involve different people from different departments within an organization, they have strategic implications and direct impacts on a company's organization and culture. Therefore, adoption of an ERP system is not a matter of changing software system, but a matter of repositioning the organization and transforming its business practices. Organizations need to understand the system adoption from the user's perspective to prepare their staff to face new challenges and learn how to make good use of the technology to reap tangible benefits. So the user's perspective of ERP systems attracts researchers' attention in several studies. However, most of the current studies focus on system adoption and user satisfaction of the ERP systems, while limited researches focus on areas such as the usefulness of the system from the user's perspective. So it's important to clarify the vagueness surrounding the relationship between ERP implementation and business performance. Arb solutions are customizable standard application software that includes integrated business solutions for the core processes and the main administrative functions. It integrates a complete range of business processes and functions in order to present a complete view of the business from a single information and IT architecture. Arb systems cover the techniques and the methods employed for the integrated management of businesses from the viewpoint of the efficient use of the management resources to improve the efficiency of an enterprise. So an Arb system acts as a total integrated system for the organization or a central source for eliminating data redundancy and adding flexibility. The main reasons why companies use Arb systems are to overcome several phased drawbacks such as inaccuracy of data, difficulty in reporting and sharing information, problems in providing seamless customer services, heavy reliance on computing center staff, and finally, the disorganized database structure. So successful implementation of an Arb system has two dimensions: success in delivering the Arb technology on time and within budget. This can be called Arb project management success, and success in enhancing the organization's capabilities by its use. This can be called Arb project investment success. However, it has been claimed that delivering Arb on time and within budget doesn't necessarily mean the organization's capabilities are affected. Arb project investment success means the ability to understand its intended benefits to reach a satisfactory level of return on investment has been studied from different perspectives, where business success by means of an information system is a wide concept than project success. While project success focuses only on short-term goals, such as project lifetime, information systems, business success is more concerned with the strategic and effective use of the system in such a way as to deliver different benefits. Project success concepts share the arena of stakeholder satisfaction, while the traditional aim of project management is to deliver the iron triangle of cost, time, and quality. The success models of project management nowadays consider stakeholder satisfaction. Then why firms invest in Arb systems? The answer of this question lies between either technical gains, such as replacing legacy systems, or for business reasons such as improving operational performance and efficiency. So many technical reasons exist, including the replacement of disparate systems into a single integrated system. The replacement of legacy systems was very important for the boom of ARB during the late 90s. ARB also provides a tested system security basis that promises to keep the organization up to security standards and for providing data security. Business reasons also exist. This includes automation and re-engineering of business processes. Other business reasons including better management, better operation and better information availability, re-engineering procedures, enhancing cooperation and teamwork between staff in the company, which is all reasons for acquiring ERP systems. ERP systems can transform companies by streamlining manufacturing and enhancing customer engagement, yet many companies are struggling to understand how ERP systems work and how to successfully implement them. In fact, most of the ERP project fails because of the time and cost involved in ERP implementation. So it's important for companies to carefully research and understand the process before getting started. First, we will define what is meant by ERP implementation process. The ERP implementation process including installing the software, transferring all the data, including financial and transactional data, mapping business processes, and finally training the users to actually use the software. This process will define whether your ERP implementation is a success or a failure. The drivers for ERP implementation include technological motivations that are related to the IT infrastructure, while operational motivation concerns the improvement of organizational processes. Strategic motivations are related to a change in strategic orientation, in the design or delivery of services, or in the image of the organization. Finally, financial motivations apply to profit, cost reduction, and revenue growth. With any ERP implementation strategy, all the implementation components need to be identified and planned. It's often said that the ERP software is the inexpensive component of an implementation, while other surrounding system components and resources cost more. ERP implementation components contains hardware, software, and people resources. Hardware includes all computer devices and peripheral devices used by an ERP system. An ERP system will require a powerful set of servers for development, testing, and production environment. The following are the key hardware resources necessary for an ERP implementation. Servers are computers that hold shared files, programs, and the network operating system. Servers provide access to the network resources to all the users of the network. Clients are computers that access and use the network and shared network resources. Client computers are basically the customers or users of the network as they request and receive services from the servers. Finally, peripheral device is an assisting device used to put information into and get information out of a computer. It refers to all hardware components that are attached to a computer and are controlled by a computer system, but they are not considered a core component of a computer system. Software is a set of operating instructions and logic called programs that control and direct the computer hardware to perform its functions. The more current definition also includes a set of information processing instructions called procedures to assist people in their work. Software today can be visual, such as Microsoft Office, or embedded in the control systems, such as automobiles. The key software components for ERP systems are as follows. The system software sets the operating system platform, which is essential for any application software to work effectively within the hardware and IT personnel. The database management systems provide a reliable multi-user authentication, authorization, security, backup, and monitoring functionality to serve as a strong foundation for the ERP systems, where most ERP systems today can work with a variety of database management systems such as Microsoft SQL Server, Oracle, and IBM DB2. However, some of the smaller ERP systems like Microsoft Great Plains work only with Microsoft SQL. The application softwares are programs or software that help in the development, monitoring, and integration of ERP software, such as the project management software, the development software, remote access software, and automated software for monitoring system traffic, virus protection, and other software utilities to enhance the quality of experience with the users. The people resources are very important for the successful implementation and operation of ERP systems. This includes end users, IT specialists, and project managers. End users can be staff, clients, vendors, and others who will use the system for their work. The success or failure of an ERP implementation is in the hands of these people. It's very important to understand the needs, skills, and abilities of this group very early in the implementation process. IT specialists are staff members of the ERP implementation team. They consist of database administrators, IT operations support, developers, change managers, trainers, and others in the IT group that are involved with the development and operation of the ERP system. The project managers play a very important role in the success or failure of the ERP implementation. A good project manager is one that can put together a harmonious team, work with top management in getting support and resources for the project, and succeed the system implementation and communicate its benefits to end users. The ERP implementation team will include different sub-teams from business or functional areas, change management, development, data migration, and system support. For example, the functional team identifies the fits or gaps between the ERP functionality and the business process requirements. During the implementation process, the functional team must chart out a customization and configuration plan for the development team, while the development team customizes the system functionality and forwards the changes to the quality assurance team, which is responsible for testing and assuring that the system functions according to the requirements set are achieved. Finally, the change management team works with end users on training, communications, and support activities. It's important to understand that in this topic, we only focus on the people resources who are very important in realizing the benefits from implementing an ERP system. There are different operational issues facing businesses that decide to go forward and implement the ERP system. ERP requires a big portion of time, personnel, and capital. Most of this cost is not related with the ERP software package itself, but with its implementation, including customization, configuration, and consultation services to implement ERP. Most of the implementation failure for ERP were early ERP adoption, which did not have strong business justifications. This was attributed to the misalignment between the objective from the ERP implementation and the strategic organizational and IT goals. If such misalignment exists, it can cause the business to lose the advantage of ERP systems. Moreover, ERP failure can be linked with internal or external aspects of the organization. Internally, failure is linked with insufficient business knowledge, while externally failure is connected with the weak technical skills of the consultants helping in the ERP implementation. On the other hand, miscommunication between the teams, resisting ERP activities, and insufficient training of end users can lead to ERP project failure or a huge loss of benefits. Arb system implementation is complex, time-consuming, and resource-intensive. As with any system, no Arb system is perfect, bug-free, or meet all the user's requirements. Arb systems, however, will grow and change to provide the business with a new way of looking at business process and decision-making. A business will need to grow, change, and adapt to Arb systems, whether vendor purchased or developed internally. The key to successful implementation is to use a proven methodology. When a system implementation does not have a well-defined methodology, deadlines will likely be missed, budgets overspent, and the functionality not meet the client's requirements. In other words, the results will be less predictable. Arb system implementation are very risky, but a well-defined project methodology will assist in managing those risks. The successful implementation of an Arb system requires a defined temporary organization and an overall implementation strategy. Arb implementation and startup planning is all about managing risk and creating a strategy that will position a business to succeed with the implementation of an Arb system. To successfully implement an Arb, a temporary organization needs to be defined and an overall implementation strategy decided and communicated. The temporary organization must have rules of engagement or governance. This governance will provide a framework for decisions, escalation of issues, and involvement of company staff at all levels of the organization, while implementation strategy is how the temporary organization will accomplish the implementation process. Two key aspects including an implementation methodology, or the process steps from the beginning of the implementation to the end or go live, and the second aspect is the guiding principles for the implementation, often called the implementation approach. The decision on whether or not to modify the system needs to be made from the beginning and used as the guiding principles throughout the implementation. Where there are gaps in the Arb functionality, a decision will need to be made on the business process or the system modifications to fill the gap in functionality. So the Arb implementation startup planning is all about managing risk and creating strategy that will position a business to succeed with the implementation of an Arb system. The successful implementation of an Arb system requires a defined temporary organization and an overall implementation strategy, where the temporary organization must have rules of engagement or governance. This governance will provide a framework for decision, escalation of issues, and involvement of the company staff at all levels of the organization, while implementation strategy is how the temporary organization will accomplish this implementation process. The Arb implementation process is the basis for defining the process of realizing benefits from implementation. The 4 implementation phases of Marcus and Tanis showed in the figure specifies the project charting phase that leads to the funding of the Arb implementation project. Key players in this phase are software vendors, consultants, company executives, and IT specialists. Typical activities include building a business case, selecting a software package, appointing a project manager, and approving the budget and schedule. The primary outcome of this phase is the decision to proceed or not to proceed with the implementation of the system. The second step is a project phase that focuses on getting the system up and running in the intended organizational units. Key players in this phase are the project manager, the team members, internal IT specialists, vendors, and consultants. Typical activities include software configuration, system integration, testing, data conversion, training, and rollout. Within the shakedown phase, an organization comes to grips with the software. The project team can continue its involvement, or control may be passed to operational managers and end users. Typical activities of this phase are bugs fixing and reworking, system performance tuning, retraining, and staffing up to handle temporary inefficiencies. The shakedown phase ends when normal operations have been achieved. The final phase is the onward and upward phase. The organization is finally able to ascertain the benefits of its investment. The key players in this phase are operational managers, end users, and IT support personnel. Typical activities include continuous business improvement, additional user skill building, and post-implementation benefits assessment. In this phase, an organization can identify if its investments have been a success or not. Governance is critical in any project that transforms an organization. In an ERP system implementation, governance should outline and define committees and work groups that are responsible for the different components of the implementation, how the different groups interact, and the decision-making process, including escalation procedures. The components of governance should include technical development, hardware and software installation, functional components, communication, change management, reporting, project management, project owner and sponsors, budget management, and issues escalation process. There are many methodologies documented and used in system implementation. There is nothing complex about methodologies, but they need to be well understood and proven. A proven methodology will better ensure a successful implementation. Implementation risks will be reduced as the technology improves and the information technology and functional staff gain more experience in ERP systems. Until that time, you should consider a strong ERP system methodology as critical to the project's success in terms of time and budget. A sample methodology appears in the above figure. When selecting a methodology, make sure it addresses all components of the entire project. This includes project startup through system stabilization. If an implementation partner is involved, be sure to review their methodology. The implementation partner's expertise in functional area of the system is important, but the most important reason for using a partner is the knowledge base and process of how to design and implement systems successfully. A vanilla implementation is a decision to implement an ERP as is and modify business processes to match the system, or to modify the ERP to match business processes. It is fundamental to make this decision prior to starting an implementation process. A vanilla implementation is when the company chooses not to modify or customize the system, but instead to change business practices to fit the system. Why would you consider a vanilla implementation? In the global business world of today, and with added analysis and fitted regulations in the area of financial reporting, modifying a system can be costly. Several factors need to be considered before customizing an ERP system, such as businesses with relatively straightforward business practices that are not unique should consider a vanilla implementation. Businesses that are not skilled or experienced at building or changing systems should consider a vanilla implementation. In this implementation, all of the company's branches run the same system in a single instance and enter and retrieve data in similar fashion, thereby reducing hardware, software license, implementation, and training, besides supporting cost. This is cost control factor. For a company using a purchased ERP system where the financial components is critical for reporting, a vanilla system will more than likely pass Sarbanes-Oxley audits in a timely fashion. Last, for a competitive advantage, it's important to know the ability of what and where things are around the world with your business in terms of parts inventory, maintenance agreements, and processes. Again, and as an example, if everyone is entering and retrieving the same information, the ability to know inventories and what is needed in a timely fashion without needing to contact others around the world creates a competitive advantage for a business that needs to react to information in a timely manner. When should you consider modifying an ERP system? While there are many reasons to implement a vanilla ERP, many businesses choose to customize or modify the system to meet business needs. That is also known as chocolate implementation, and are very successful. Businesses that have highly skilled IT developers and a proven process for mapping modifications can choose to change the system in areas where a business already has a competitive advantage. In a situation like this, an ERP system is too generic to fit the specialized business or specialized process. The benefits and drawbacks of modifying an ERP system include: a single system instance is easier to maintain and support in today's worldwide market. System modifications are not one-time change, so if a system is modified, each modification will need to be analyzed, considering the upgrade to see if it needs to be integrated in the upgrade or removed. The modifications will need to be looked at, validated, and added back into each upgrade, which is paying for a modification several times over. Vendors sometimes supply a tool to identify conflicts between a modification and the current release. Those areas identified need either to be rewritten or removed from the system and tested by IT and the business analyst to ensure proper functionality. If an ERP system is highly modified, an upgrade can sometimes turn into a re-implementation process, which requires more resources and time to implement the upgrade. Customizations can take up to 1/3 of the total upgrade time. Where there are problems or bugs with an upgraded ERP system, it's often the modified code that is the issue. As with most implementations, organizational change is difficult. We're evaluating organizational change with modifying the system to meet the needs of the business will help to minimize the risk. In any case, the decision to modify or not to modify is critical and should be discussed at the very beginning of the implementation process, as it will influence change management, training, and system sustainability. Understanding ERP system life cycles from inception to operations and the effects on today's organizations is fundamental to fulfilling the long-term investment in an ERP system implementation. ERP implementation life cycle includes several points that are pre-evaluation screening, evaluation package, project planning, gap analysis, re-engineering, team training, testing, and post-implementation. These parts are divided simply into 3 main stages: the pre-implementation, during implementation, and after go-live phase or post-implementation phase. The post-implementation phase in a system's life cycle establishes several processes that are critical for the system's success. Following the implementation of the system, an organization will engage in several activities such as post-implementation review, support, and maintenance. Post-implementation is a very critical phase as most of the vendors are not supporting the projects anymore. Within the pre-implementation phase, the pre-evaluation of vendors for selection includes identifying the best solution for organization, initializing the ERP vendor selection process. This process eliminates those ERP solutions that are not suitable for the business process. This limits the number of ERP solutions that are to be evaluated by the committee. This screening is done based on the product literature of the vendors, external consultants, and others. Once you select a few ERP solutions, after the screening, you can start the detailed evaluation process. ERP solution evaluation is considered an important phase of the ERP implementation. The selected solutions will decide the success or the failure of the project. Implementation of ERP system involves a huge investment, so once an ERP solution is purchased, it is not an easy task to switch to another one. So it's considered a do it right the first time proposition. The objective is to find the ERP solution that is flexible enough to meet the company's needs. Once the ERP solution to be evaluated are identified, the company needs to develop a selection criteria that will permit the evaluation of all available ERP solutions on the same scale. While evaluating, the following points must be kept in mind. Should be user-friendly, regular updates must be available, and the complexity of the system. A selection committee for the evaluation of the ERP system must be formed. This committee also should include people from different departments like the functional experts. In project planning phase, the implementation process is designed and the details of how to go about the implementation are decided. Time schedules and deadlines for the project are decided. Also, the roles are identified and the responsibilities are assigned, where the implementation team members are selected and the task allocation is done. In this phase, we decide when to begin the project, how to do it, and when it should be completed. This phase is usually carried out by the committee established from the team leaders of each implementation group. Gap analysis is the most critical phase in the ERP implementation. It is a process through which the companies create a complete model of where they are now and in which directions they will go for in the future. The model helps the company to anticipate and cover any functional gaps. Business process re-engineering is in this phase that human factors are taken into consideration. While every implementation is going to involve a major change in number of staff and their job responsibilities, as the process becomes more automated and efficient. It is the best to treat ERP system as an investment with cost-cutting measures rather than a downsizing tool. Configuration is the main functional area of the ERP implementation. Here in this phase, a simulation of prototype, that is, a simulation of the actual business process of the company, will be used so that the company can carry on with the work when the mapping process is taking place. The prototype allowed for testing of the to-be model in a controlled environment. Through this, the consultants configure and test the prototype to solve any inherent problems in the ERP before going live. This also helps to reveal the strengths and weaknesses of the company's business process, which enables those who are configuring the systems to point out what fits into the ERP solution and where the functional gaps occur. Implementation team training takes place along with the process implementation. Company trains its staff to implement and later run the system. Staff become self-sufficient to implement the software after the vendors and consultants have left. In the testing phase, we try to break the system to find out the weak links so that it can be resolved before going live. In the end-user training phase, the actual users of the system are identified and trained on how to use the system. This training is very important because the success of the ERP system lies in the hands of the end users. This makes this phase very important. Within the going live phase, the work is complete, data conversion is done, databases are up and running, the configuration is complete, and testing is finished. The system is officially proclaimed. So once the system is live, the old system is removed and the new system is used for doing the business. The post-ERP organization will need a different set of rules and skills than those with less integrated kind of systems. However, an organization can only get the maximum value of these inputs if it successfully adopts and effectively uses the system. Once the implementation is over, the post-implementation phase starts. The vendor and the hired consultants will go to gain the value of the implementation. It's very important that the system has wide acceptance. There should be enough employees who are trained to handle problems. Those crops up time to time. The system must be updated with the change in technology. Successful ERP implementation and redesign process impacts business strategy and organizational capabilities. Through fast and accurate information sharing, process improvement, and production and financial flexibility, businesses can respond to the market quickly and proactively, and by this means having a positive impact on financial and non-financial performance measures. The figure shows these relations. ERP implementation and business strategy. From a theoretical standpoint, the implementation of ERP systems may affect the firm's business strategy by offering new opportunities for the firm that did not enjoy previously. ERP implementation is the firm's ability to adapt, configure, and integrate information flows and business processes. Even though a firm may implement ERP, it needs to adapt, reconfigure, and integrate its information flow and business process on a continuing basis because markets change and new technology are created. Successful ERP implementation involves redesigning business process from an inflexible mass transaction orientation to an agile, lean, and knowledge-based process. During business process transformation efforts, firms must incorporate corresponding training programs, operating procedures, and information technologies to support the emerging infrastructure. The result of opportunity implementing ERP is to improve firm performance caused by redesigned business process, integrated managerial functions, accelerated reporting cycles, and expanded information capabilities. Business strategy firms are classified into 4 categories: defenders, prospectors, analyzers, and reactors. Each type has a unique configuration of contextual and structural factors. This is useful because it is based on firm's product market orientation that is responsive to environmental challenges. Defender firms follow a cost leader orientation in which they concentrate on established products and markets. They take strategic advantage by minimizing costs by improved operating efficiencies. This focus leads defender firms to employ short-term financial strategy and performance. On the other hand, prospectors seek to exploit emerging market opportunities by emphasizing market research and responding to anticipated market changes. Prospectors consider new products their primary source of revenue growth. A critical aspect of product innovation is efficiently managing the flow of ideas from across the organization and turning them into reality. Prospectors need a system to improve the management and execution of product innovation by identifying opportunities, generating ideas and concepts, and selecting the most promising project to follow. Impact of ERP implementation on business strategy, where management information systems such as ERP systems affect business strategy. Business strategy involves long-term planning that may include managers and acquisitions, market segmentation, capital formation, product sourcing, supplier and customer relationship management, and product innovation. The firm's ability to have information available helps them achieve competitive advantage and strategic initiatives. The concept of receiving timely feedback, analyzing deviations from expectations, and taking necessary decisions to correct deviations is rooted to cybernetic control theory, while the adoption of ERP systems offer the means by which firms can survive and adapt. Managers need to implement processes, procedures, systems, and matrices that will facilitate their business strategy. Because ERP systems can deliver a comprehensive set of interrelated data and information to decision makers, firms can achieve competitive advantage and strategic initiatives such as cost leadership and market differentiations. These are characteristics of a firm that would be defined as a prospector. An ERP system allows a firm to follow strategic options such as mergers, product innovation, cost leadership, and market differentiation. Implementing an ERP system has a positive impact on the adoption of prospector-type business strategy because it effectively facilitates this approach. Therefore, we can say that ERP implementation positively affects the firm's prospector-type business strategy. In the ERP implementation and organizational capabilities, to cope with a changing environment, firms need to have capabilities to integrate, build, and reconfigure internal competences. Firms develop their capabilities to create competitive advantage by leveraging organizational resources such as information systems to develop unique and change-oriented capabilities that enable them to meet customer needs and respond to challenges from competitors. Organizational capabilities are a firm's abilities to perform a set of tasks using company's resources. Firms develop and manage organizational capabilities in order to gain competitive advantage by creating organizational specific competences. Over continued use, capabilities become stronger and more difficult for competitors to mimic. Investment in information technology enables the firm to make its processes more efficient and enable the firm to achieve operational and financial outcomes by increasing information access, developing new products, and effectively improve operations, and taking effective actions to alter the amount and timing of cash flows. The ERP systems automate business process and enables process change, which offer benefits in terms of information access, product variety, process improvement, and financial flexibility. Information access is the degree to which a firm supports organizational production by fast data gathering and processing. Existing knowledge and information stimulate new ideas and become a source of efficiency for existing processes. Knowledge reduces inconsistency in the time required to accomplish tasks and in the quality of task performance. Work is therefore more reliable. Effective information access will have a large impact on business performance. Product variety is the degree to which a firm introduces new products or services with additional features and improved performance with a wide offering. Broadening product lines have a positive impact on competitiveness and for many firms. Process improvement is the degree to which a firm enhances existing programs and procedures within its organization. In some cases, they want to improve a specific process such as procurement, production, scheduling, or customer service. In other cases, management focus more on process standardization to assure the quality and predictability of global business processes. Financial flexibility is the degree to which a firm takes advantage of unforeseen opportunities or deals with unexpected events, depending on the firm's financial policies and structure. Financially flexible firms can use financial resources to respond to new information about the company and its environment. Now let's understand the impact of ERP implementation on organizational capabilities. ERP systems have important impact on organizational capabilities, where ERP systems are valuable to achieve strategic, organizational, management, operational, and IT infrastructure goals. Erp systems enables more accurate and timely information coordination, which reduces inventory and administrative costs and increases responsiveness to market demands, reducing buffer inventory and lead times, increasing the efficiency and flexibility of the firm. So in both theoretical and practical perspective, it's important to know the impact of ERP systems on the firm. So researchers have studied different organizational capabilities which can be enhanced by information systems. Accurate and fast information accessibility help staff work together across functions. They can share resources, ideas, and data, informally work together as a team, and achieve goals collectively with other staff from different departments. Implementation of an ERP system also established the backbone data warehouses so the management can have fast access to accurate information for decision making and control. Process improvement is enhanced by implementation of ERP systems. ERP integrates business process and information technologies into a synchronized package of procedures, applications, and matrices that span intra and inter-firm boundaries. Management of product variety is not only a production issue, but a challenge for sales as well. By support of an ERP system, firms can configure product efficiently and produce greater variety efficiently. A majority of firms expect their new ERP systems to be enabled process improvement. The ERP system improves the management and execution of the entire new product innovation process by helping companies more identifying market opportunities, generate ideas and concepts, and select the most promising project to develop. The adoption of ERP systems leads to sustained operational efficiencies and improved overall liquidity. So a successfully implemented ERP system enhances organizational capabilities including information access, product variety, process improvement, and financial flexibility. Therefore, it's expected that ERP implementation positively affects the firm's organizational capabilities. For the business strategy and organizational capabilities, in strategic management, organizational capabilities are important organizational resources that help a firm build competitive advantage. It is important to develop and maintain these capabilities based on the firm's strategies and information systems so it can develop sustainable competitive advantage. There are tendencies for the firms with different strategies to develop different functional capabilities. A firm which is characterized as prospector firm highlight product and market effectiveness. These firms focus on product research to develop innovative products. A firm that highlights a prospector strategy shares information, increases product variety, and enhances financial flexibility. Therefore, it's expected that a prospector type business strategy impacts the type of organizational capabilities the firm achieves. Within the business strategy and firm performance, the financial performance is the degree to which a firm can achieve a strong return on assets and profitability. Financial matrices are tools for comparing organizations and evaluating a firm's behavior over time. The purpose of judging firm performance by financial and non-financial indicators is to better align incentives with a firm's strategic objectives. The theoretical basis underlying non-financial performance measures is rooted in agency theory, which proposes that non-financial performance measures provide incrementally valuable information regarding all dimensions of managerial actions that are of concern to investors. In innovative industry with high risk and uncertainty, prospector firms perform better than defender firms. Compared to defenders, firms with prospector strategies have wide and varied markets and must cope with change and innovation. They keep developing new products and markets. Their management structures are flexible, while defender firms' management structure are stable. Prospectors are more innovative and can influence their actions and competitiveness in order to react to change, while prospector firms search for new opportunities. Therefore, it's expected that firms with a high level of prospector type business strategy have high firm performance. In organizational capabilities and firm performance, the resource-based view of a firm claims that firms compete based on unique corporate resources that are valuable, rare, difficult to copy, and non-changeable by competitors. These unique resources enable firms to achieve competitive advantage and superior long-term performance. The advantage can be sustained to the extent that the firm is able to protect against resource mimic. In the resource-based view of the firm, many researchers mention that only a firm's resources, but also its capabilities, are important to get a competitive advantage. When considering efficiencies, effective information access will have a great impact on business performance. The information system allows firms to have better performance with new customized products that have unique features and better quality. Organizational responsiveness to the market is an important attribute or ability that firms need to operate effectively in competitive environment. So information access, production variety, process improvement, and financial flexibility are unique capabilities that contribute to a firm's competitiveness and market success. Therefore, it's expected that organizational capabilities positively affect firms' performance. The implementation of an ERP system is a huge strategic and complex project involving considerable risks reflected in the time, scope, and cost of the project implementation. Because of the complexity of ERP implementation, it's critical not to focus on the implementation methodology steps, but also to create conditions in which the chosen solution could be implemented in the expected time, scope, and budget. This means that organizations should be aware of critical success factors, or CSF, in ERP implementation. Organizations have to know which factors are critical and important for them according to the implementation methodology used by the ERP vendors and within distinct implementation phases. So what is critical success factors? Critical success factors are something that the organization must do well to succeed, or what is the system must do to accomplish what it was designed for. Critical success factors are the few key areas of activity in which favorable results are essential for a particular manager to reach his goals through the identification and arranging of factors that could influence ERP implementation success. Therefore, the critical factors variable is introduced as a moderating variable in the relationship between ERP benefits and benefits management. Possible answers to the question of what are the reasons for a company to decide to implement an ERP solution. Clarify management issues of ERP implementation projects or reasons for ERP. Reasons could include better access of data, transformation of existing business processes with ERP solution, single data entry, incompatibility of previous information systems, the integrity of a solution, the demands of owners, better reporting service, adaptability, and flexibility of ERP solutions. So organizations should select the ERP package which fits the organization, provides industry functionality, supports changing business environment, integrates with other information systems, while vendors' implementation support has implementation accelerators after implementation such as training materials, user procedures, help text, and process modules. However, a lot of Erp implementations are failure because companies that bought Arb Solutions think that Erp implementation is a technological and not management issue, showing that management issues are underestimated. There are several critical factors affecting the success of an Erp system implementation, where these success factors must be addressed and managed well with the implementation stage in the life cycle of Erp project. Some commonly mentioned critical success factors include top management support, which is critical because top management have to make fast and effective decisions, resolve conflicts, bring everyone to the same thinking, to promote company-wide acceptance of the project and build cooperation among the diverse groups of the organization. Effective communication. The importance of communication across different business functions and departments is well known in the information technology implementation because the communication has an important impact on the process of minimizing possible user resistance. Communication has to cover the scope, objectives, and tasks of an Erp implementation project, where effective communication is required in project teams and within the organization, that weekly teams meetings, posting on the company intranet, and so on. Clear goals, objectives, and scopes. So the clearly defined business and strategic objectives are in most cases very important critical factor. Having a clear defined vision and mission, and a formulation of the right policies and strategies serves as the blueprint for organizational success. Clear goals and objectives should be specific and operational and have to indicate the general direction of the project. They should also provide a clear link between business goals and information system strategy, where well-defined objectives help to keep the project constantly focused and are essential for analyzing and measuring success. In the project team competence and organization, selecting and motivating the right staff to participate in implementation process is critical for the implementation success. Teams must consist of the right mix of business analysts, technical experts, and users from within the organization and consultants from external companies, chosen for their skills, past accomplishments, reputations, and flexibility. A lack of user training and understanding of how Erp system work appears to be a major reason for many problems and failures in Erp implementation. If the employees do not understand how a system works, they will invent their own process using the parts of the system they are able to manipulate. The full benefits of Erp is not realized until end users are using a new system properly. Erp implementation is a matter of transforming business practices, so implementing an Erp system involves re-engineering the existing business process to fit best business practices. The existing organizational structure and process found in most companies are not compatible with the structure, tools, and types of information provided by Erp systems, where these changes needed may affect organizational structure, policies, processes, and staff, and can cause resistance, confusion, and redundancies and errors if not managed effectively. Many Erp implementations fail to achieve expected benefits because companies underestimate the efforts involved in change management. Because Erp systems cross functional and departmental boundaries, the involvement of all people in the organization are essential, where users often perceive their role in Erp implementation as central in their judgment about new system. The quality of pre-existing data and information systems is a very important factor in successful Erp implementation. If problems with data are not solved in old legacy systems, they will hardly be solved during Erp implementation. and so the quality of implemented systems will be questionable. Data problems could even rise because modules in Arb solutions are interlinked. The success of a project depends strongly on the capabilities of the consultants, because the consultants are the only one with in-depth knowledge of the software. Consultants provide a very valuable service by filling gaps, providing expertise, and thinking out of the box. They are specialized and can usually work faster and more efficiently than others involved in the implementation process. Arb projects are huge, complex, and risky, so effective project management is important. Where most of Arb implementations are late or over budget, which may be caused due to poor cost and schedule estimations or changes in project scope. Project champions or sponsors are individuals who have a clear understanding of what is going on. They are very critical to implementation success. Champions should have experience in previous implementation efforts to manage conflicts that arise before and after implementation. Project champions perform the critical functions of transformational leadership and marketing the project to the users. Project champions play a critical role in the acceptance of the technology and is usually at senior management level, so they have the authority to make large organizational changes. All Arb packages have limited capabilities. Some packages are more suited for large companies while others fit smaller firms. Some packages have become a de facto standard in certain industries, while others have a strong presence in certain parts of the world. To increase the probability of success, management must choose software that most closely fits its requirements. Most companies underestimate the effort required for code modifications. Vendors' code should be used as much as possible, even if this means losing functionality, so upgrades from release to release can be done easily. Therefore, every modification request should be carefully evaluated and approved or rejected after considering all the options. Therefore, to release benefits from Erp implementation, a company has to take into account the implementation strategy, methods or process, and implementation of critical success factors. There are 3 pillars of Erp System Benefits Realization, including identifying the business objectives, detecting and managing the critical success factors, and measuring and iterative improving aspect. But first, let's consider what is benefit. Benefit is an outcome whose nature and value are considered valuable by an organization, which is perceived as positive by stakeholders. Benefits lead to value creation. A benefit is a realized gain, whereas value is the net result of realized benefits minus the cost of achieving these benefits. So in other words, a benefit is a positive outcome of a change according to stakeholders. That result of a change is something that we do and consume something we care about, like time or money. Benefits are a result that cannot be made to happen directly and which have no direct cost. A benefit is considered as an outcome of actions, behaviors, products, or services that provide utility to a sponsoring organization as well as the program's receivers. A benefit is generally a measurable improvement resulting from an outcome perceived as an advantage by one or more stakeholders. Therefore, benefits realization should always be owned by stakeholders who are expecting value from an investment. For example, improved customer service, reduced costs, or increased productivity. Categorizing benefits help to identify and group these benefits, and in turn identifies an appropriate measurement approach. The 4 quadrants in the figure represent 4 benefits categories tangible, intangible, financial, and non-financial. Tangible benefits are measured objectively with evidence, whereas intangible ones cannot be directly measured objectively. Financial benefits can be monetized, whereas non-financial ones generally can't be. Other than the above categories of benefits, we can also have other categories such as qualifiable and quantifiable benefits, short-term and long-term benefits, direct and indirect benefits, and finally planned and emergent benefits. The benefits that are measurable in financial terms are tangible, while those that are not measurable in financial terms but have a huge business impact are intangible benefits. However, both types of benefits will affect the business. So benefits expected from implementation of ERP systems include tangible benefits like reducing cost, reducing operation time, and a lean organization, while intangible, like information integration, better information quality, and an increase in customer satisfaction also exist. Such perceived benefits are expected because ERP helps makes production inside manufacturing companies more efficient by integrating information from other departments like sales and procurement into the production system, which as a result helps eliminate cost and improve production schedules. This discussion leads to the observation that measurements of business performance should accurately match the rhythms behind ERP implementation unique to each specific organization. ERP implementation are factor-based, where the goal is to identify factors that influence the change of implementation success. However, the goal is not implementation success, but relatively ERP benefits as an outcome of such successful implementation. The critical factors are classified based on operational, managerial, strategic, organizational, and IT infrastructure levels as shown in the figure. But why are the factors divided into these levels? The reason is that the levels of a critical factors gives an indication of the influence of these factors. For example, the business plan and vision of an ERP implementation should be influenced by the business strategy, while training is most important with the users of the system on an operational level. So when issues arrive at a certain level of the organization, this classification should give an indication which factors have to be paid more attention than others. There are critical factors on the operational level deals with running the new business process and using the ERP system. These factors include business process re-engineering, training, dedicating resources, and user support. Managerial or informational critical factors influence the amount and way information about the ERP implementation is shared within the company and how the process is managed. These are factors including communication with organization, cooperation with stakeholders, project management, consultant resources, top management support, and performance management. Strategic critical factors involve having a business plan and vision for the ERP implementation, the importance of fitting the ERP in the current business, and the scope of the project. These factors have to be aligned with the organizational strategy and vision for making an ERP implementation a success. Organizational critical factor deals with the human aspect of implementation that often requires adaptation of the organization, so people in the organization must change. Only most people tend to be resistant to change. Other factors that also deal with this organizational change are the management of expectations and cooperation of employees with the implementation of the system. The IT infrastructural critical factors have a direct impact on the technology and configuration of the ERP. These are factors like data analysis, defining the architecture, vendor support, and package adoption. The critical factors that are marked with an asterisk can be divided among different levels depending on how the critical factor is described. For example, top management support is here grouped under managerial factors, since support from top management is sometimes given by being a member of a steering group of the project. However, top management support has a big influence on the organizational context as well, since it can steer the organization in the new situation with the ERP, so it can be an organizational factor as well. A classification of benefits achieved by Erb System was developed by Chang and Sid in 2000 to represent the impact of the Erp implementation on different dimensions in the organization by differentiating 5 dimensions of benefits that are operational, managerial, strategic, IT infrastructure, and organizational, each with several sub-dimensions to provide a good starting point for comparison of benefits for organizations. This framework provides a comprehensive base for future objective research concerning Erb benefits categories. The following 5-dimensional framework, which is built on a large body of previous research into IT benefits, has been organized around operational efficiency and managerial and strategic effectiveness. At the outlook of strategic managers are brought to identify links between enterprise system investment and benefits realization, and those of operational managers are too narrow to consider all relevant organizational goals. The most appropriate management level is business managers or middle-level management control, as they have a comprehensive understanding of both the capabilities of enterprise systems and the business plans for system use. It is not expected that all organizations will achieve benefits in all 25 sub-dimensions or even in all 5 main dimensions, but it provides an excellent checklist of benefits that have been accomplished in organizations using enterprise systems. Operational benefits include the cost reduction and contains labor cost reduction in customer service, finance, human resources, purchasing, IT service and training, inventory costs in inventory turns, dislocation costs and warehousing costs, and finally administrative expenses, reduction in printing and other business supplies. Cycle time reduction of customer support activities in order, fulfillment, billing, delivery, and customer inquiries, employee support activities in month end closing, HR and payroll and learning, and finally, supplier support activities in order processing, information exchange and payment. Productivity improvement for production per employee, production by labor hours, production by labor costs, increased work volume with same workforce, and reduced overtime. Quality improvement including error rate, data reliability to data accuracy, and finally customer service improvement for ease of data access and inquiries. The managerial benefits dimension includes better resource management that consists of better asset management for improved cost, reallocation, physical inventory and maintenance records control, both locally and worldwide, better inventory management in shifting products where they were needed and responding quickly to depths in demands. Managers are able to see the inventory of all locations in their region and across boundaries, making possible a learner inventory, better production management for coordinating supply and demand and meeting production schedules at the lowest cost, and finally better workforce management for improved workforce allocation and better utilization of skills. In improved decision making and planning, it consists of improved strategic decisions for greater market responsiveness, fast profit analysis, cost control, and effective strategic planning, improved management decisions for flexible resources management, efficient process, and a quick response to operational change. And finally, improved customer decisions with flexible customer service, rapid response to customer demands, and prompt service adjustments. And finally, the performance improvement in a variety of ways in all levels of the organization, such as financial performance, by lines of business, by products, by customer, by geographies, or by different combinations, manufacturing, performance monitoring, predictions, and quick adjustments, and finally, overall operational efficiency and effectiveness management. The strategic benefit dimensions are in a wide range of activities in internal and external areas in terms of general competitiveness, product strategies, strategic capabilities, and competitive position of the organization. Support business growth includes transaction volume, processing capacity, and capability with new business units in products or services or new divisions or new functions in different regions with increased employees, new policies and procedures, and in new markets. Support business alliance by efficiently and effectively consolidating new acquired companies into standard business practice, building consistent IT architecture support in different business units, changing selling models of new products developed by a merged company, transiting new business units to corporate system, and integrating resources with acquired companies. Building business innovation by enabling new market strategy, building new process chains, and creating new products or services. Building cost leadership by building a lean structure with a streamlined process and shared services. Generating product differentiation by providing customized product or service, such as early preparation of a new currency policy, customized billing, individual project services to different customers, requirements and different level of services appropriate for different size of customer organization, and providing lean production with make-to-order capabilities. Enabling worldwide expansion of centralized world operation, global resource management, multi-currency capabilities, global market penetration, and cost-effective worldwide solution deployment. Enabling e-commerce by attracting new customer or getting closer to customer through the web integration capabilities. Interactive customer service, improved product design through customer direct feedback, expanding to new markets, building virtual cooperation with virtual supply and demand groups, delivering customized service, and providing real-time and reliable data inquiries. And finally, generating or sustaining competitiveness by maintaining competitive efficiency, building competitive advantage with a quick decision-making, staying ahead of competitors for better internal business support, and using opportunities generated by enterprise systems. The fourth dimension is the IT infrastructure benefits that include building business flexibility by rapid response to internal or external changes at lower cost and providing a range of options in reacting to changing requirements. IT cost reduction in total cost of maintaining and integrating legacy systems by eliminating separate data centers and applications, as well as their supporting costs. IT staff reductions, mainframe and hardware replacement, system architecture design and development, system upgrade, system modification and future changes, and technology research and deployment. The last dimension is organizational benefits that includes changing work patterns, facilitating business learning and employee skills, empowerment, building common visions, shifting work focus, increased employee morals and satisfaction. There are several reasons that companies implement cutting-edge technologies as part of their IT strategies. Cost pressures, organizational inefficiencies, and hype are all common catalysts for the introduction of new technologies. However, despite the compelling reasons for information technology, many companies fail to realize the full benefit of these technologies. That's why it's important to including a benefits realization approach into an ERP implementation project. To increase the technical aspects of an implementation with the business side of the equation and ensure that potential benefits come to realization. So, what's meant by benefits realization? It is a comprehensive and integrated approach that focuses on realizing business value, and it combines elements of cost-benefits analysis, performance matrices, organizational change management, and process modeling. By breaking down high-level benefits into manageable chunks, measures benefits after implementation, and utilizes tools to ensure that the true benefits potential of projects are attained. From this point, in an implementation process is driven by benefits realization, the benefits management process should be the driving mechanism of these change activities, such as performance measurement, organizational change management, program management support, and process improvement. An effective benefit realization approach consists of several activities, beginning at project inception and continuing through the implementation as shown in the figure. Many of these activities are included to some degree as part of overall project plan. The challenging aspect, however, is ensuring that all these activities are implemented effectively and in alignment with the technical aspects of the project. This is where benefits realization provides real value by ensuring that all prior to implementation activities are intended to establish a basis for benefits potential, while all post-implementation activities are completed, integrated, and measured to ensure realizing benefits. Benefits realization focus on measurable post-implementation results that organizations typically see an initial drop in productivity after a major IT implementation. The goals of benefits realization are to minimize the drop in productivity immediately after go live and maximize the increase in productivity after users get through the learning curve of the new technology. The key outcomes of realizing benefits is creating measurable return on investment and business value, to reduce project risk, align business and technical activities, address potential obstacles, provide a more understanding of lessons learned, improve justification for future project approvals, and finally provide quality and continuity through ERP project lifecycle. An effective benefits realization approach consists of several activities, beginning at project inception and continuing through implementation. These activities, which are illustrated in this timeline relative to an ERP project rollout schedule, including development of business cases, corporate matrices, and benchmark. One of the first activities to occur as part of an IT project is the financial justification of the necessity of technology investment. It's important to identify and quantify the potential benefits of the project and compare those to the project cost associated with the proposed information technology. Organizational change management. Since most IT implementations involve large-scale change in terms of end users, learning new technologies and processes, it's important to evaluate the company's culture early in the project to identify cultural areas that will need to be addressed, as cultural issues can impact the success of a project, and this area should be addressed early in the project since implementing cultural change are long-term in nature. Culture change based on the results of the culture assessment. There may be areas that need improvement to enable large-scale changes required of the project. To ensure acceptance of the new technologies, it's important to effectively communicate changes to end users. This should be done through a variety of channels and should be targeted for each audience. In order to realize the full benefits of technologies, business processes need to be modeled and improved to improve efficiency. While most business cases effectively develop high-level projected business benefits for an implementation, it's perhaps even more important to translate these matrices into operational numbers that department and other middle managers can be held accountable for. High-level benefits are useful if they are not presented in a way in which individual managers can be measured. Therefore, the business case must be translated to target levels of performance at the departmental level. Just as processes need to be evaluated and changed to enable forthcoming technologies, job descriptions, reporting relationships, and work all need to be evaluated and redesigned to support the new technologies. Once the high-level process modeling is complete, which identifies who will do what type of work at a high level and how that work will be completed, it's important to take this process modeling to the next level and develop more detailed level of process models to ensure that individuals are able to clearly understand their roles and responsibilities. While operational and departmental matrices are useful to hold managers for contributing to the potential benefits of technology, they in turn must be translated to individual matrices so individuals understand how their performance contributes to the success of the project. Once the organization and related jobs have been designed, it is time to implement the necessary changes. Simply documenting how jobs and structures will change as a result of new technologies is not enough. Those ideas must then be translated to reality to ensure that the changes become a part of the new organization. So when using the detailed process models developed above, it's important to then develop end-user training that not only helps end users understand how to use the new technologies, but also how to perform their new processes and job functions. Benefits measurement is where the real value of benefit realization comes into play. As mentioned, most companies do not measure actual benefits after implementation, but a comprehensive benefit realization approach does. It's vital to compare actual results to projected department and individual results to identify any potential benefits gaps. It also enables managers to understand what they are doing well and ensure that they continue to realize the benefits in these areas. Based on the post-implementation measurement, it then becomes important to understand why certain gaps exist. Root cause analysis, such as understanding why people are not becoming more productive with the new technology, helps clarify the reasons for the gaps. Finally, once the root cause of benefits gaps have been established, it is then time to implement activities to address the root cause analysis for the problem areas by corrective actions. So in order to measure a company's cultural gaps, it's helpful to conduct an organizational culture inventory, which measures the current and ideal culture in 12 different areas. This tool helps identify the biggest gaps to enable these areas to be addressed as part of the IT project. If the large gaps continue after go live, there will be major end-user resistance to the associated changes. There are several approaches that can be used to model and document process for benefits realization, such as business case and matrices, organizational readiness, job impact analysis, process design, process and organizational change implementation plans, benefit realization scorecards, root cause analysis, post-implementation corrective action plans, and communication plans. In the next slides, we will see some examples of these benefit realization tools. Business case and performance metrics. Traditional financial and cost-benefit analysis is a useful tool for outlining and documenting the high-level benefits to be achieved by the proposed technology. Also, it's useful to examine industry benchmarks to gain a more accurate understanding of the potential benefits of technologies. Consulting and benchmarking firms are often invaluable sources of data regarding the impact of information technology on actual performance and metrics. Performance metrics is used to measure the behavior, activities, and performance of a business. This should be in the form of data that measure required data within a range, allowing a basis to be formed supporting the achievements of overall business goals. Measuring performance through metrics is key to seeing how employees are working and whether targets are being met or not. A cost-benefit analysis is a semantic process that business use to analyze which decisions to make and which to drop. The cost-benefit analysis sums the potential rewards expected from a situation or action and then subtracts the total cost associated with taking that action. A cost-benefits CBA is the process used to measure the benefits of a decision or taking actions minus the cost associated with taking that action. It involves measurable financial matrices such as revenue earned or cost saved as a result of the decision of the project. A cost-benefit analysis can also include intangible benefits and costs or effects from a decision such as employee morals and customer satisfaction. An organizational readiness assessment is an official measurement of the readiness of your company to undergo a major change or take on a major new project. Where companies do not want to jump into a big change or project without knowing if the company had the resources to accomplish it effectively or not. The readiness assessment usually evaluates the project goals and objectives, expectations and concerns, leadership support of the project, ability to adapt to change, ways to minimize potential project failure, project governance and decision making, and finally other critical project needs. So it helps in addressing potential project failures. The purpose of Erp Benefits Realization is to enable alignment between mid-level managers and project benefits, holistic approach with a focus on performance measurement, organizational change management, program management support and process improvement, increasing technical aspects of an implementation with the business side of the equation will ensure the potential benefits come to completion. Next, we need to realize why should the company apply this type of benefit realization approach. Here are some of challenges organizations are facing in terms of measuring benefits, which is one primary reason for including the benefit realization approach as a part of the project plan. However, there are several other reasons that justify the need for these activities. First, realizing benefits focus on ensuring that the full benefits of technologies are achieved, which reduces the risk of the project failing. In addition, pre-implementation activities all focus on establishing the foundation for realizing benefits by addressing process and organizational change management issues that would otherwise undermine the project success. In short, the approach is focused on achieving measurable business value. Second, benefits realization ensures that processes, jobs, matrices, and organizational structures are designed to support the technical aspects of the project and vice versa. More often, business and technical activities are done in isolation of one another and are highly misaligned. Even among business activities such as organizational change management and process modeling, there is often a disconnect when in fact they should be very closely aligned. The most successful projects have a core group of individuals that align business to technical activities. Next, since this approach focuses on measuring actual results and addressing benefits gap, it inherently ensures that potential obstacles are identified and addressed early in the post-implementation project life cycle. To provide more through understanding of lessons learned, benefits realization approach measures results, identifies benefits gaps, and implements corrective actions to address these gaps. It serves as the wealth of knowledge for future IT projects in terms of what the project struggled with, what went well, and what can we improve in the future. Finally, with the actual benefits measurement that occurred as part of this approach, it is far more reasonable to gain funding for future projects when IT managers can point to previous success in terms of actual financial results. Other financial managers who are likely to approve such projects are much more likely to give the green light to other projects when one can point to the exact cost and benefits of previous projects. The process of achieving additional benefits from an ERP implementation and motivating people to support the changes is referred as second wave implementation solutions. Benefits realization approaches measure results, identify benefits gaps, and implement corrective actions to address the gaps. So in other words, benefit realization focuses on identifying, measuring, and ensuring the business benefits that are achievable through technology. A roadmap will help managers to improve forecasting, planning, and administration of ARB benefits. The results may help to improve the understanding of ARB success and satisfaction level, both expected and perceived from the ARB stakeholders. Benefits realization roadmap includes 4 main stages as shown in the figure. The first stage of the roadmap concerns the activities to prepare the realization and achievement of ARB benefits. Managers should concentrate on the initiation and development of activities that will influence the next 2 stages. In this stage, it is also important to work out users' expectations. The second stage concerns the realization of most of the ARB benefits, especially the ones related to operational, organizational, and managerial dimensions. Realizing the benefits of these dimensions, managers can start showing the rest of the organization the potential of the ARB system and its impact and influence across the organization. The third stage concerns the full achievement of ARB benefits, especially the ones with the long-term vision like strategic benefits. Erb Auditing Stage concerns the continuous auditing analysis of the ARB benefits realization in each stage and estimation of ARB benefits for the next stages. It's extremely important to highlight perceiving ARB benefits realization as a scale across which managers need to consistently prepare, realize, and achieve ARB benefits for the next stages. So after the achieve stage, managers should go back to the beginning of the roadmap once again in order to monitor the benefits already achieved and also to improve such benefits. Auditors also need to understand the new environment created with the ARB system. The new system environment requires information system and integrated auditors. Furthermore, during the post-implementation phase, enterprises update their systems. These ARB update projects must consider the results of the benefits realization auditing stage in order to review the ARB configuration, correct possible mistakes, or improve the efficiency of expected benefits that have not been achieved yet. The general perception of the continuous failure of IS investments has forced organizations to seek new ways and approaches to achieving successful projects. The focus should be on obtaining and managing benefits, since this is the main justification of the investment. There are 5 principles for realizing benefits underline the importance of benefit management with an IT investment for ERP implementation. These principles support the process of realizing value from ERP system implementation by assuming that just having a technology does not give any benefits or create value. IT enables people to do things differently. Benefits result from changes and innovations in ways of working. Only the relevant stakeholders can make these changes. All IT projects have outcomes, but not all outcomes are benefits. And finally, benefits must be actively followed to be obtained. In these principles, it's proposed that the value of implementing Erb system in an organization is in the interaction between the system and the organization it resides in, and not an inherent value. Against this backdrop, efforts have been made to understand the value that the IT brings and how it increases that value. Therefore, managing for the benefits does not stop when the technical implementation of the project is completed. It continues until each of the expected benefits had either been achieved or it is clear it will not be achieved. The key tool of this approach is the Benefit Dependency Network, or BDN. The benefits management allows the investor to have the right information for the investments with viability studies, pointing out the way to deliver the expected benefits. Benefits realization is a center of project delivery so that all aspects of the system are designed and delivered with clear linkage to benefits and investment objectives. Benefits management focus on clear benefits identification, planning for benefits from the beginning of the project, and early benefits delivery whenever possible. Benefits management can be described as the process of organizing and managing such that potential benefits arising from the use of IT are actually realized. Benefits management activities within an ERP project allows to identify and plan the realization of benefits, establish the necessary governance arrangements to oversee progress and ownership of the benefits realization, measure the achievements of benefits, including the baselines, targets, milestones, and measures which are agreed with benefits owners, and finally, ensures that post-implementation realization of benefits is lasting and continuous. There are different methods to manage benefits, such as the Active Benefits Realization, or ABR, approach. This method is developed to improve the performance of information system project through a continuous evaluation approach. ABR focus on project management as a means of identifying, defining, monitoring, and delivering business benefits as a result of an information system development opportunity. Model of benefits identification categorized answers to what tasks and activities did you follow to identify the benefits into 4 groups of activities: problem identification, mini study of current business process, mini design of proposed business process, and comparison of benefits of current and proposed processes. In other words, one group of activities appear to help identify problems, another helps understand the current business process, and so on. Several responses fit more than one activity. The model uses these responses to formulate a proposed model for identification of benefits. However, the model represents an initial feasibility study phase of the life cycle. The model uses mini-study to in phases that the study is initial and that extensive system analysis and system phases follow later in the life cycle. The Cranfield process model of benefits realization is one of the main differences between these benefits management models and that from ABR is that this model does not focus on the opportunity development of an information system, but rather an already existing information system that has to be used to realize benefits. So this benefit management process is more suitable for benefit realization of an already developed system. A key characteristic of this process is that it's iterative. Benefits continuously have to be managed in order to realize them even after the system is implemented. However, most of Erp system implementation processes are viewed linear. The phases of both the process can be compared together. The Cranfield process model will be explained next. According to the Cranfield approach shown in the figure, the process for benefits management follows 5 stages. The first element is to identify and structure the benefits from the ARB project based on the drivers of the ARP implementation. The proposed benefits are identified, and for each proposed benefit, suitable business measures are developed, both financial and non-financial. The benefits are structured in order to understand the linkage between technology effects, business change, and overall business effects such as business objectives. At this stage, it becomes possible to evaluate the overall business benefits. It's also possible to evaluate the current situation with the measures that have been developed. Main activities in this stage are analyzing the drivers to identify the investment objectives, identifying the benefits that will result in achieving the objectives and how they will be measured, establishing ownership of the benefits, identify the changes required and stakeholders' implications, and finally producing business case. The next stage is planning benefits realization. The purpose of this stage is to develop a plan that describes how to identify the benefits and realize the value of an ERP system. For each benefit, specific responsibility for realizing the benefit is allocated within the business. The required business changes are also evaluated and planned for, and the benefits realization plan is produced. At this stage, the full cost of both IT development and business changes can be measured in order to make a fully informed judgment to the viability of the proposed project. Any intended benefits for each responsibility cannot be allocated for, which a delivery plan cannot be developed and should be rejected at this stage. Main activities of this stage are finalizing measurements of benefits and changes, obtaining agreement of all stakeholders, and producing benefits plan and investment case. This stage could be compared to the project chartering phase of an ERP implementation. The activities regarding benefits, obtaining agreement, and finalizing the business case are also described as activities in the project chartering phase. The steps involved in the first 2 stages of the process can be summarized as a set of questions that have to be answered to produce a benefits plan that will be shown later in next slides. The next phase is to execute the benefits plan, carry it out and adjust it as necessary. Alongside the implementation of the proposed IT application, the necessary business changes as detailed in the benefits realization plan are carried out. Main activities include managing the change programs and reviewing progress against the benefits plan. This stage can be compared to the implementation or configure and roll out stage. Typical activities in this stage are ongoing project management, software configuration and customization, system integration, and training. The stage of reviewing and evaluating results evaluates whether the project is a success or not. This should be evaluated after completion. Once the ARB and business changes have been implemented, there should be a formal review of what has and has not been achieved. The main activities in this stage include evaluating the benefits achieved, initiating actions to gain outstanding benefits, and identifying lessons for other projects. These activities can be associated with the activities in the shakedown stage that are focused at solving problems with ARB and fine-tuning, like system performance tuning, problem resolutions, and process or procedure changes. As a result of the post-project review, it may become obvious that further benefits are now achievable, which were not predicted at the beginning. The potential for further benefits stage provides the opportunity to plan for and realize these further benefits. In a wide context, this stage also provides the opportunity to review and learn from the overall project process, so facilitating the transfer of lessons learned to future projects. The Benefits Dependency Network is a key tool that was designed to combine the investment objectives and the resulting benefits in a structured way to business and IT changes required to realize those benefits. The BDN construction starts with understanding of the drivers acting on the organization, the agreement on the investment objective for the initiative or project, then proceeds to the identification of the business benefits that will result if the investment objectives are achieved. Then it's necessary to identify the changes to the way individuals and the groups work. An important part of realizing the potential benefits identified. The changes identified in the BDN can be categorized into two types: business changes and enabling change. The business change are permanent changes to working practices, processes, or relationships. In contrast, the enabling changes were doing just once and are the prerequisites for making the business changes in effective operations. The monitoring results compare the benefits of the project with the planned benefits realization during the course of the project and evaluating whether external or internal changes affecting the delivery of planned benefits. There should be a formal review of what was and was not being achieved after the new technology system and business change has been implemented. Benefits review is the process by which the success of the project in terms of benefits delivery is addressed. Opportunities for identifying further benefits is defined, and lessons learned and opportunities of improvement in future projects are identified. The following answers are used to develop both a strong business case for the investment and a viable change management plan to deliver the benefits. Why must we improve? What improvements are necessary or possible? What benefits will be realized by each stakeholder if the investment objectives are achieved? How will each benefit be measured? Who owns each benefit and will be accountable for its delivery? What changes are needed to achieve each benefit? Who will be responsible for ensuring that each change is successfully made? And how and when can the identified changes be made? To agree on the objectives and benefits, it is advisable to organize workshops with all relevant stakeholders, managers, IT staff, and sales personnel to meet the alignment needed to develop the BDN. Once the BDN has been constructed, measures for each benefit, responsibilities for achieving all these benefits, and implementing all the changes, and the time frame must be established. The steps involved in the first two stages of the Cranfield process model of benefits realization can be summarized as a set of questions that have to be answered to produce a benefit realization plan. A core feature of the benefits plan is the clear identification of expected benefits and a detailed plan of how those benefits will be realized at the outset of the project. This plan is then used to guide actions throughout the project implementation and to review progress and achievements both during the project and following its completion. The process of producing a benefits realization plan can be seen as a series of questions that have to be answered in order to develop the business case for the investment and a viable change management plan to deliver the benefits. The questions are focused around organizational or business improvement and changes and not IT, such as why do we have to improve and what improvements are necessary or possible. Another question must be agreed upon by the key stakeholders and become investment objective, such as what benefits will be realized by each stakeholder if the organizational objectives are achieved, and how can each benefit be measured. Other questions such as who owns each of the benefits and will be accountable for its delivery must be answered to identify the benefits owner who will be responsible for the value assigned to the benefit in the business case. Key question to realizing benefits by identifying explicit links between each benefit and required changes are also included, such as what changes are needed to achieve each benefit, who will be responsible for ensuring each change is made successfully, and how and when can the changes be made. This requires an assessment of the organization's and specific stakeholders' group ability and capacity to make the changes. The first three questions are answered in the first phase of the benefits management process. For the questions regarding the changes, it can be useful to describe these with business and enabling changes, especially for appointing the responsibility for the delivery of the benefit. Besides the responsibility, it's also important to define who is affected by the changes. This can be done by analyzing stakeholders. The combination of these answers leads to a benefits realization plan for achieving all the benefits. A way to represent the ARB benefits plan is by plotting the answers into a balanced scorecard. This scorecard can be used for translating the business vision to short-term objectives, communicating and linking goals to the performance of groups within the organization, business planning that links the objectives with actions, and learning by supplying a mechanism for reviewing. Benefits management is a management philosophy that puts the benefits in the central point of all actors' activities in organizational change. Benefits management strategy integrated into the business governance process to help organizations to increase their ability to define and manage their success criteria. It also helps to put in place a key condition for project success. Without benefits planning, programs can be well managed but still fail to deliver the expected value back to the business. While clear benefits planning identifies and links the organization's expected benefits, the change required to deliver that benefits, the baseline for measurement of the benefit, the owner of that benefit target, and the categorization of each benefit. That will drive the decision-making process required to create the business case, including scope, size, and resource allocation. Now, let's define what's meant by Benefits Realization Management, or BRM. It's also known as Benefits Management or Benefits Realization. Is one of the many ways for managing how time and resources are invested into making desirable changes. BRM is the process of organizing and managing so that potential benefits arising from investment in change are achieved. It's enacted to ensure that the expected benefits of capital investment, any approach to realizing benefits from IT investment, must be able to address the principles identified previously for both problem-based and innovation-based implementation. Projects and programs deliver benefits and drive strategy. This is a fact not always recognized by organizational leaders who are more focused on issues of cost and return on investment than on the execution of the project. Benefits realization is a way to change that thinking, underline how projects and programs deliver benefits to the business, and enable the important changes. So benefits realization management goes through the following process to provide the mechanism to engage stakeholders, define the requirements and acceptance criteria, help to establish and maintain the blueprint, define project boundaries, develop project plans, identify risks, inform the business cases, and finally provide ongoing monitor and reviews. Benefits realization management provides organizations with a way to measure how projects and programs add true value to the enterprise. The BRM framework includes identify benefits to define whether projects or programs can produce the intended business results, execute benefits to minimize risks to future benefits and maximize the opportunity to gain additional benefits, and finally sustain benefits to ensure that whatever the project or program produces, it remains to create value. As we will see in this example, the initiative outputs are re-engineering process of the organization, implementing new IT systems, and providing training courses for the staff. The benefits of the created new system and engineered processes will reduce cost and reduce time to process orders, and the provided training will increase the staff skills that will impact the time of order processing, that will increase customer satisfaction, which in turn will increase sales. These benefits or outcomes are aligned with the strategic objectives of the organization, where cost reduction and increased market share that will both obtain the objective of increased global presence. So, what is the importance of benefit realization management? It's essential to use benefits to decide which project idea to invest in. They need to be part of the concept brief and business case. A temporary project will deliver and outputs. The permanent part of the organization needs to own benefits, be accountable, be measurable, then actively use these measures to adjust or terminate a project that will not create the desired value. In fact, organizations with high benefits realization maturity waste less money than those with low maturity because they have better project performance. At the lack of benefit realization management maturity may be contributing to projects, including strategic initiatives, failing to achieve their original goals and business intent. So that identified benefits as part of the business case even before the start of a project will improve the outcomes, which is translated to a fewer dollars waste. Thank you and see you next lecture.